Yes, it's about race. It's always been about race, and it always has been about race. And it shouldn't. It's not always going to be about race because our generation is going to take considerable steps into changing that because it shouldn't always be that way. But when I look at things such as black communities, I have to speak from a black lens because that's me. That's what I'm most familiar with. And eventually, I will branch out and speak about other communities and speak and coincide alongside other communities which have been disparaged and disenfranchised because I believe that we should all unify. And I believe that we should all come together and put some real positivity onto this world, onto society that we live within, and make it a more harmonious and peaceful place. But with that being said, it has always been about race. Literally, our whole society is built and predicated upon the strategic and systemic downgrading, disparagement, disenfranchisement of people who look like myself. I'm gonna speak on America right now, but it happens worldwide. There's Aboriginals in Australia and stuff like that, and there's darker skinned Asians in fucking Thailand and everywhere, and there are certain people which are just historically condemned. But I'm speaking from the black culture right now in America. Um, Capitalism is racism. When you think about it, the point of capitalism is to maximize profits with the least amount of expenditure as possible. So, what's the ideal model for that? Would that be slavery? Yes, it would. Um, so then you go from there, and then it now costs more money to have these slaves and see them rebelling and fighting against it because they're taking out instrumental people within the system. Now it costs more money to have them enslaved, so you give them their freedom because you're losing the economic battle, the capitalistic battle. But hey, you're moving black people out of their communities after forcing chemical warfare onto them. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not about race, because it's always been about race. Even today, you can see Workday is denying Workday AI platforms are being taught to deny people based upon race. It's a fucking AI. It is being taught racism. It's a robot. Racism is being fostered within a robot. What's the point? Why are these AI models being trained to be racist? But, I digress. It's always been about race, quite literally. And the more you try to deny race, and the more you try to deny the truth, and the more you try to deny the truth, is the more you're easily able to be manipulated, and the more you're easily able to be manipulated is the more you play into the evil games of the oppressors. And when I say oppressors, I don't just mean regular everyday Caucasian people, regular everyday Hispanic people, regular everyday Asian people. They're all playing the games of the real oppressors who align themselves with things such as governmental affairs, out of country affairs, out of state affairs, internal affairs, and their whole game is predicated upon control. So, if you can get the poorest white man to disparage and disenfranchise and look down upon the richest black man, then, and when I say poor and rich, part of it has to do with money, but it has more so to do with character. You can be rich in character as well. But if you can get that, then the goals of the elites are being fulfilled because there is no unity that is being brought to the attention of the everyday people. So with that being said, then it's way more easier to control when you divide people. You divide and conquer. They're trying to conquer your mind. You're at warfare every single day and you don't even know it. Every single day. You get on your phone and you scroll. You're at war. You're being pushed thoughts and you're being pushed propaganda every single day. You get up and you go to work. You're being forced to play into a role. You're being forced to play into a system. You're being forced to provide and consume and You're being forced to provide more than you're receiving. You're being forced to provide just to live, just to exist, just to receive some nourishment, just to think, just to be. And it's just, frankly, it's exhausting. And there's a number of different things that I'm going to get into on this channel. But it's always been about race. It's always been that way. And let's not demean and diminish the struggles of which people go through. I'm going to speak for my black women. Let's not demean and diminish them just to propel yourself up and act like you're a token or you're a prize. It doesn't make any sense because they don't like you anyway. They only like you for what you can provide them. And what you can provide them is the attention and the continued degradation of your community, which contributes to. So if you're a person that participates within a system and you participate within a patriarchy, then you're pushing even lower self-worth onto yourself by spreading it to the younger generation, by spreading it to your child, by showing them by conforming and by being a sellout to your people and your cause and what's really going on, that they too can be a token. You won't quite be who the rulers are. You won't quite be up to that standard of those other people who oppress us. But you'll be a step under that. You'll receive their praise and their adulation because you're pushing their ideals while representing the black people, while representing the people of which you come from. So you've assimilated so much. You've been a lapdog so much that you are inherently valuable for destroying your own people, which makes it easier to divide and conquer.